Yes, yes, yes. Hello and welcome to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. I don't know how long my mic was muted. OMG. Let me just clear on a second. Let me clear my throat. Okay. Hello and welcome. Hopefully you're hearing me loud and clear. Sorting out the techniques. Don't sweat the techniques. Okay. Let's get that. What we're doing now. Let's get that out of here and let's share. Let me share with you. Let me share with you the thumbnail that we're working with today. Where is it? Where is it? Let's have a little looky. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, how's that look? Let's have a look. Let's make sure everything. Oh, okay. Probably looks better. Yep. Yes. Okay. Woo. It's been hectic. It's been a hot one over here in Middle Earth, England, UK, in the middle of a heat wave. I'm not complaining. You know, I like it when it's nice and sunny, but I must confess the last couple of nights have been kind of close, you know what I mean? Them nights where you have to sleep with your windows open. You know what I mean? Minimal attire. I'm not complaining, but it was kind of warm. It was kind of warm last night and the night before. Let's just keep it warm in the daytime, cool in the nighttime. That's how I like it. Okay, let's have a little looky here. How are we doing this? Yeah. Sweet. Okay. So what we're talking about today, we're going to get into the chat in a second. Of course, it's the big one. It's the Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor. Scotland's Josh Taylor. And that was on Saturday night. Well, it was Sunday morning, 5 a.m. in the morning over here in the UK, 5 a.m. Sunday morning. Not quite sure the ref is fully recovered. Could have done with some sleep. I wanted to go to sleep instead of cranking out the show, but you know, the referee has a responsibility to the people of the RDCR. And, I just thought, press on. I thought, do I cancel it? Do I postpone it till tomorrow? No, press on. We press on. What the hell did I just do? Oh, yeah, okay. We press forward. And, damn, what a hell of a fight it was. Josh Taylor from Scotland, the Tartan Terror versus Teofimo Lopez. Many people wrote off Teofimo Lopez. Come on now. You know, I think I was the only one that I heard. That said, put your money on Teo. I said my head. What the hell's going on here? I said my head said Josh Taylor, but my heart said, put your money on Teofimo Lopez. Yes. Okay, let me first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the sound check. Make sure that everything is nice and copacetic. I'm going to pin the link because we're here for a good time, not a long time. The Rafi is absolutely shattered. For those on foreign shores, that means tired. Not sure I fully recovered from getting up at 4:30 a.m. on Sunday morning to watch the fight, and I didn't get back to sleep for a good few hours after that because it was a very good fight. You know what I mean? I had to bang out a video, etc., etc., etc. And let me do the sound check before I go to the chat and say hi. Let's have a look. Let's kill the music. Kill the music. And listen to what's going on. Go on. What's going on? Music. Kill the music. And listen to what's going on. Go on. What's going on? Go on. Okay. So I think we got the levels. I think the levels are right. Remember the tune by Depeche Mode? Get the balance right. Check it out. It's a good tune. It's a banger. How's that tune now? OMG. Decades old, but still a banger. Still a banger. Let's have a little looky here. Let's have a little looky in the chat. Bruce, gas, boxing, jazz, and more. Salute, Rafi. How do you do? How do you do, Bruce? Hope you're doing well over there. I think you're in the New York area. Correct me if I'm wrong. Howdy, alias T up in the building. Good evening, Mr. Dawkins, panel, peeps. At Taylor, 4-1 up. And looking aggressive, but slowly. The 140 weight cut set in. T.O. looked good. After 7, biased commentary. Yeah, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the commentary, to be fair. I just watched the visuals, and then I had a little bit of, turn the volume down and add a little bit of another channel. Actually, it was the boxing voice. I had the boxing voice on in the background. They weren't really talking much sense. They don't really follow the fight very much. So really, I was just relying on my own 2 eyes. And I must confess, it looked close in the early going. The early going looked very close to the naked eye. But we're going to talk about that some more. Give me some more. Dari, Pennant, Frank Sanchez is going to pull off a big upset and become the next heavyweight El Champion of the world. Well, it would be possible, but I highly doubt that Tyson Fury will sign to fight him. I think Tyson Fury is going to look at Frank Sanchez as in the who he needs him club. But I'm glad you bring it up because that's something we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Fury and why Fury can't seem to get an opponent. He's looking for one in the summer before he fights again in the winter. Okay. Looking like Josh Boazzi and Aziz getting it on. Make or break. Let's get it on. About time. We got the Leon figures in the chat and we got the Leon figures on the panel. I'm going to go to Leon shortly. UGC Flame up in the building. Mr. Dawkins, sounds you had both lanes covered. Your person. Well, you could say that, but like I specifically told you where to put your money. Rhode Island, close but no cigar. Let's just say East Coast. Okay. The Fix Sports TV up in the building. Okay. Good evening to everyone, one and all. And without much ado, let's get into this boxing chat. Can I get comfortable in this squeaky chair? I know the Rafi's gonna have to. The Rafi got this one from an auction probably about 10 years ago. But I think it's just too squeaky now. No amount of WD-40 appears to be helping. But anyway, let's get stuck into this and let's welcome in the Leon figures.
Peace, Mr. Dawkins. Peace to the chat. How is everyone?
Well, you know, I cannot lie. I cannot lie. I wanted to have a good nap. I wanted to have a good nap. That's what I really wanted to do. I ate my dinner, and I thought I could really do with a nap, but it wasn't much time. There wasn't much time, so I thought, you know what? Let's just let's just let's just push on through. Let's push on through because I know once I've started this thing, I'm gonna get through it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to push on through, and it was a very warm night last night. A very warm night the night before, and you know, whew, these hot. I don't even know if it's technically summer yet, but we are in the middle of a heat wave over here in England, UK. How's it been down south?
Very hot, very humid, um, but very good weather. Very good weather. As long as you stay hydrated,
Mm.
as long as you've got some kind of ventilation going, as long as you're not stuck in a hot room or something, it's very enjoyable. But then there was flashes of rain as well.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's,
don't
it's
mind.
been an enjoyable time down south. Very enjoyable.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got to appreciate it while it's here. You know, crack some windows so you can get a good night's sleep. But yeah, whew, we're definitely. Well, it's like the tropics over here in the UK right about now. But anyway, let's get stuck into this thing. Um, I told you. I done told you. I don't know. I told everybody last show. My head says Josh Taylor, but put your money on Teofimo Lopez. Um, Teofimo Lopez, of course, he was the one who defeated Vasily Lomachenko, and that's how it became undisputed. Or is it light welterweight, junior welterweight? Or was it lightweight? Where did he get that one? Lightweight? Was that lightweight? I think that was lightweight. That's how he became. Let me have a look at my list here. Lightweight. Yeah, lightweight. That's how he became undisputed lightweight when he beat Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko was the favorite. He was the favorite at that time, but Teofimo Lopez was hot. He was hot. He just he just knocked out Richard Comey in 2 rounds, the durable Richard Comey in 2 rounds, and so the writing was on the wall that this guy was gonna give Vasily Lomachenko a damn good run for his money, and he did it. And he did it. And he emerged victorious. Some people were crying, no, 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 he didn't win. Of course he won. Of course he won. On the first 6 rounds, was it 6 rounds? Won the first 5 rounds. And then Vasily won round, what was it? He won round, Lomachenko won round 1 to round 5, I think. 5, what did he win round 1 to round?
Or
Yeah.
Lopez won round 1 to 5.
Lopez won round 1 to round 6. Vasily won round 7 to round 11. That's 5 rounds. And Vasily needed to win the 12th round to make it a draw. And he didn't. Lopez came back and took the 12th round by general consensus. And so emerged the undisputed lightweight champion. So we know he had talent to spare, talent galore. But
Can I
then
interject, Mr. Hawkins?
you most certainly may.
Teofimo Lopez is brilliant at that. He, on the 12th round, as the challenger, he always puts his foot on the gas, and that's something that a lot of challengers don't understand. Even if they think they're ahead, it's very important to dominate that last round to cement your claim.
Yeah, let me cut in there for a second. Yeah, my bad. I don't think he had the WBC. I don't think there was one. He wasn't quite. There was one that he didn't. What was that? There was one that he didn't have.
He had a WBC franchise, but not the actual WBC.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Sorry, as you were saying. Yeah, he puts his foot
Oh,
on
that
the
was it. This was brilliant at putting his foot on the gas in the 12th round,
gas.
just to cement it. And it's something that a lot of challengers need to do. I think it's something that Jack Catterall never did when he fought Josh Taylor. And I think that was part of the reason why he never got the nod as well. If he had really put in a dominant performance, a
Yeah.
bit more aggressive, he could have really had a more credible claim to actually being awarded the victory, not just in the eyes of the people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the consensus view is that Catterall won that. I can't remember who I had winning the 12th round. It's been a while now. So, yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. I mean, you put your foot down, you could get a hook in the jaw when you put your foot down. You know what I'm saying? So you still got to make sure you don't throw caution to the wind. You might get knocked up out. You know what I mean? But credit to Lopez, he did that. He did that in the Lomachenko fight, and he did that on Sunday morning in the Josh Taylor fight. Well, he did it in round 11. Did it in round 11. I thought, damn it! If only you'd done that in round 12. And then he comes out in round 12 and does the same dang thing again. Several moments in the round 11, he had Josh Taylor kind of hurt. He had him reeling on more than one occasion, visibly tripping over his own feet as a result of a heavy shot. Did that in round 11. I thought, damn, you done it one round too early. If only you could have done it in round 12. But he came out in round 12 and did the same damn thing again. People are talking as if it was a runaway train. It wasn't a runaway train to me. Marking those fights early in the morning, those rounds early in the morning, a lot of them look close. A lot of those middle rounds look close to mine. But yes, you could get the feeling that Lopez was edging it.
They were close and competitive, but Lopez has looked more stylistic. He had a more aesthetic look, landing better combinations. The punches sounded more powerful. But yes, they were competitive. But for the swing rounds, your eye test plus the crowd, you're more likely to award them to Lopez. So I can see why people thought he ran away with it. But as you said, yes, it was a lot more competitive than people think it was.
Yeah, because I was sitting down watching it and I was confused about some of the rounds. I thought, well, who won that one? I didn't have my pen and paper. I got up late. And then I ended up kind of half sleepy scrolling through some channels, and I went one way and there's like hundreds of channels that I had to go the other way. Then it wasn't where I thought it would be. So I didn't get into the fight till a good couple of rounds had gone past. A good few rounds had gone past. So, I had to tune in, tune my eyes into the thing, and they look very close to me on first viewing at 5 a.m. in the morning. A lot of those rounds look very close to me, and I didn't have pen. I opted not to put pen to paper. I thought, let me just sit down and watch this and enjoy it. And a lot of those rounds looked close to mine. But you think, well, who kind of stole the round then? Who did anything that made it look like he won the round? And oftentimes that was Teofimo Lopez. He just looked like he was putting some more. Somebody used a term. Somebody used a term the other day. Who was it? Could have been. Can't remember, but the term used was it Spencer? Was it Spencer? May have been Spencer. Theron. They used the term special effects. It's either him or Tunde. They use the term special effects, and yeah, it's a good term. At the end of the round, many rounds which looked close, I said, well, which one was the one who came in 3D? Which was the one who gave you some special effects, some special moments? And those moments occurred at the hands of Teofimo Lopez. I wrote that Teofimo, Lopez, Thrashes, Tartan Terror. Well, I don't know if it was a thrashing. It was a thrashing at times. It was a bashing at times, but it wasn't a thorough, consistent bashing. Josh Taylor was in the fight largely. He was getting some shots into Teofimo. Teofimo was cut up. I think he had 2 cuts around the brow, one over the nose, one over the bridge of the nose, and one at the side of the eye. I think they may have been caused by headbutts, courtesy of Josh Taylor. So he was getting some work put on him as well. Not just with the head, of course. I don't mean to suggest that, but he was getting some work put on him as well. It was not any kind of runaway train. It was a close, competitive fight with Teofimo with the special effects. Teofimo with the special effects. And when he got to, I think it was by the time he got to, I think round 6 was a really good one. Teo was putting some really good work in. Josh started good early, but then Teofimo started to come into it more. I think round 6, to me, was a bit of a turning point. Teo looked like a boss. Frequently with where the hell's my other screen? Frequently with his lead foot on the outside of Josh Taylor's. Frequently able to get that right uppercut in. Frequently able to get the right hook in. Frequently going around the side with the lead hand. I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very rare that I go back and watch a fight in 2, 3, 4 times in the space of a couple of days, but that's exactly what's happened. I'll probably watch it again tonight. It was a virtuoso. It was a fight full of nuance, full of subtlety.
Highly entertaining. Highly.
I'm going to watch it again. I probably watched it 4 or 5 times already. And that's because of the nuance, because every time you watch it, you pick up little things, something you never seen before. What an absolutely incredible fight. TKO 22 up in the building. Howdy, alias TT, Mr. Dawkins and panel. Would you allow your father to kiss you every time you went? I saw that once. I'm not too much for kissing someone of the same gender on the lips. Not too much. I'm not too big on that. So a kiss on the cheek or a kiss on the forehead would suffice to me. Would suffice. But hey, I seem to have a very close relationship, so whatever works for them. What do you say, Leon Figures?
Well, my dad is the type of dad that absolutely wonderful when he gets words of affection from his daughters, but from his sons, and to wind him up on the Father's Day, I message him, "I love you, Dad," and I get no response. So he would absolutely not be kissing me anywhere, even if he was in the ring with me. So that's not a problem I would have at all.
I would like to see Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller next. Let's come out to left field. We're going to talk about the heavyweights later on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what people are saying. Where are we? Congratulations to Man City and Pep Guardiola, however you pronounce his name. I stopped watching football when Martin O'Neill left Aston Villa. How'd you like them apples?
When was that? Was that 97? Am I thinking?
A good couple of decades now.
Damn.
Yeah, well, almost a couple of decades. That's 97, 2007, 2000. Yeah. Over a couple of decades. Yeah, that's when I stopped.
He went to Leicester, didn't he, and took him into Europe.
That's right. I was vexed. I was vexed
Yeah.
when I think Doug Ellis was the chairman at the time, and they let him go. The Aston Villa football club, Birmingham, Middle Earth. That was my team. We had a manager called Martin O'Neill, very good manager, a great manager. And then our chairman Doug Ellis let him go. He wanted the assurances that he'd have a certain amount in the kitty to make acquisitions to the team. He was going to take us back to Europe. We were going to be European champions again under Martin O'Neill, as far as I was concerned. And when they let him go, I thought, okay, that's it. I threw my scarf down, and that was the end of me watching football. I watched a few games in World Cups over the years after that, but that's about it. But as far as Manchester City is concerned, yeah, big shout out to them, because I still kept my ear to the ground, and I knew they were building. They're trying to build a team that would beat Manchester United. But at the time, they had various managers come and go, and I thought, nah, it's not going to work. Yeah, it's going to take money, and they've got money, but it's going to take more than money. It's going to take nuance. It's going to take style and panache. And I didn't think they'd do it, but you know what? A few years after they got the cash injection, they started winning stuff.
And who was that skillful player they had? Was it Daly? Was his surname? Short guy, low center of gravity.
Oh yeah, Daly. Yeah.
Enjoyed watching him.
Yeah, he was like in sprint like a greyhound up the wing, and then he was kind of hit and miss how he got it in, but when he got it right, it was beautiful, bellissima. But yeah, shout out to Man City. If I heard correctly, I hear they got the treble. European, the league, whatever, FA Cup, is that the treble? So big congratulations to them. I watched them as they were rebuilding. I hadn't totally stopped watching at that time, and sure enough, they've come along, and now I don't know. I've never seen a league list since, but apparently they are the boss of Manchester now.
It was a great couple of days for English teams in Europe, because my team, West Ham, who I think may have gone longer than Man City without a European trophy, also won one of their own a few days before.
Yeah, I know.
Which was so enjoyable. In my living time, I've never seen West Ham win anything in Europe. I've never seen them win anything at all, to be honest. But yeah, it was a good day to be a West Ham fan.
Absolutely,
it's the only one I'll have in my lifetime, but a good day still.
Hell yeah! It's a good day to be an English football fan. You guys overseas call it soccer. We call it football because it is football. Ball to the fight. What's this here? Dwight York. Yeah, I met Dwight York a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? A couple of times out there in Clubland. Clubland in Middle Earth. There's a place called the Belfry Golf Club. Well, they used to have well, they probably still do. They have a club night. It used to be on a Monday night. It was a soul night, R&B night, and a lot of the Villa players would show up there. It was grown and sexy night, not for the kiddies, for the big men and the big ladies who know how to dress, with style and grace. It's that kind of scene. There was no trainers, no hoodies, none of that nonsense. It was hard shoes, trousers, or very nice cut jeans, nice shirt. The Villa players, a lot of them would come up suited and booted. You know what I mean? So it was a grown and sexy night, and yeah, you see most of the Villa players there. That was the first time. He didn't play for Villa, but that was the first time I saw Des Walker of Nottingham Forest, and
brilliant player, absolutely brilliant, world class right back,
world class.
Well, I mean, the closest thing we've had to him is a Carl Walker since then, but I think Des Walker's better than Carl Walker for pace, Brilliant, just brilliant player.
The thing that shocked me about Des Walker is that I always thought he was a short fella or medium height. The geezer is an absolute tank. I was shocked when I first saw him. 6 foot, and he was a tank. Well, he was a unit, mate. He was a unit. Looked like a cruiserweight boxer. You know what I mean?
Sorry, Mr. Dawkins. I need to reply to Aldi alias TT.
Yes.
I actually went to school around the corner from Upton Park, and the day they opened the Bobby Moore stand, they were playing Everton at home, obviously, and Everton wasn't a particularly fancy game. It was live on Sky during a weekday, and what West Ham did quite cleverly, they needed the stadium full for the cameras, and they hadn't sold them the seats, so they gave free tickets away to the local schools. So I went. A lot of people from my school went to that match, and it was 2-2, a great match. You saw away goals, home goals, and the chants, and I became a West Ham fan from then. And I went. A couple of the guys in my class were actual West Ham fans, so they walked me through it, and I was just like a fan from then. So I always say the team chose me. I didn't choose the team. And then I spent 3 seasons going to the junior Hammers. It used to cost me £1. I was there when we was up 2-1 against Man United, and then Paul Ince got an equaliser in that game. I spent many seasons going to Upton Park, but when they moved to the new stadium, as I started progressing my career, I just never had the time to keep going to the matches. But yeah, I've tried. I worked for a company that the owner supported Tottenham, and they had a corporate box. So I used to host the corporate box quite often. So I spent a couple of seasons spending many times with Tottenham, and I thought I'd grown an affiliation with Tottenham. Then I went to watch Tottenham play West Ham, and Tottenham battered us 4-0. And my heart sank every time a goal went in. So I realised I'll always be an Iron. I'll always be a West Ham fan.
You'll always be a Hammer.
Yeah. Well, we call ourselves Irons.
Oh, Irons.
But,
okay.
Yeah. Come on, you Irons. But it's because I've kind of as similar to you, kind of fell off the wagon with football. And gone on to other sports. My love for boxing far supersedes football anymore. But yeah, that's why I don't really mention it. I'm definitely not a West Ham bandwagonist at all. But it was good still.
For real. You mentioned Paul Ince. Didn't see him at the Belfry, but I did see him at another club.
Sorry, Mr. Dawkins. That's exactly the school I went to, Mr. Aldi alias. Bonds boy. Man, what a small world. It's Halley Road. Wow. Yeah, I used to pass that on my little adventure. We used to play football teams. And there was one team we used to pass. I think it was on Halley Road. We used to pass Halley Road. But yeah, I've walked that road. I've trodden that path many a time.
Dang.
He was a Bonds boy.
You probably crossed each other's paths without even knowing it. Only 6 degrees of separation. Are you familiar with the concept of 6 degrees of separation, Mr. Phillips?
Yes, I am. You can link to almost anyone if you go. Yeah, definitely.
For example, you're only 2 degrees of separation away from Mike Tyson, because I met him, shook his hand. You're only 2 degrees of separation from Frank Bruno, because I met him, shook his hand. Etc. So I met Paul Ince. Where did I meet him? It wasn't at the Belfry. It was another club. I know what club it was. I forget the name though. Still in Birmingham also. He was having an argument with what's that cat's name? He used to play for Derby. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. They were having a bit of a discussion. And another time, I was walking past the male restroom, the male toilets, and a couple of guys came out, or a guy came out and his eyes were as wide as saucers. And The next person who came out was Paul Ince. So this cat must have tried to get cheeky with Paul Ince, and Paul Ince put the fear of God into him. I could tell by his expression. He must have scarped out of there on the quick fast, because these guys are athletes. They're athletes, and they're having rocks with each other regularly. So when some guy thinks they're gonna get slick in the restroom, talk some ish, they tend to be a bit surprised when they get back far more than they expected. OMG.
Sorry, Mr. Dawkins. Yes, TKO. I went to the same school as Aldialis. I went to St. Bon's. I don't think Rokeby is there anymore. I think the school's changed its name and moved locations. And yes, TKO, Julian Dix. He actually came back to Upton Park once I can't remember who he was playing for, but as an away team, and we were giving him stick. And when the cameras couldn't see, he was giving us the word?
The middle finger.
No, the pleasure yourself sign to the fans. And we cheered him because he did it behind the cameras. He looked like he was stretching behind his back. The banter at Upton Park is A1. He's A1.
A1. Okay. So let's get back into this boxing thing. Okay, so yeah, your views and opinions on the fight last night or Sunday morning.
Absolutely high level, high quality, thoroughly enjoyable. I'm absolutely gutted. I actually tried to stay up to watch it and ended up waking up, and I called it from around 8, and it just, when you just know it's a good fight from watching around 8. Then similar to you, I rewatched it a few times. This is how good it was.
Yes.
I was at work, and while I was waiting for the others to finish, I was just watching the replay of it on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then just as I parked up, I started to watch it, and I ended up watching rather than getting in and going home. I sat down in my car, just watching it on my phone, just as you said, watching the nuances and just watching it. I thoroughly enjoyed that fight. I could enjoy that. And these some of these late US shows have been quite good for us in the UK. That we're lucky that the broadcasters in the UK take them on. But yeah, it was actually so good. I actually forgot about another good fight, the Jaime Munguia.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. It's a really good
fight. Yeah, that was a good fight. That's a good one to watch. I've heard that. Yeah, but the Josh Taylor one, thoroughly high level, highly enjoyable. Even everything to it, even the sportsmanship afterwards, where Josh Taylor never made excuses. He gave Teofimo Lopez his props. Teofimo Lopez apologized for the comment about wanting to kill him in the ring, and it was just great. And it was, for me, it was a great story. Lopez, he seems like that crazy guy, but somehow manages to pull it off, because he was giving all this talk about, he's pulled it off at the right time. It was his last fight on the top rank contract. He wants to start earning some serious money. Now he can go wherever he wants. He's got a belt, so they have to come see him. He timed it perfectly. Perfectly.
Excellente. And Iron Kong, our man in the Caribbean, how do you do?
Good day, gents.
Peace, Mr. Kong. Peace.
Peace to L Figures and the proprietor of
the Dawkins Towers
Luxury Tires. Yes, sir. Don't forget that.
Soon to be Dawkins Entertainment Corp.
Damn right.
We're gonna be branching out. And I don't think you was here for the last show, Kong. But if you were, you would have heard the Rafi say, "My head says Josh Taylor, but my heart says put your money on Teofimo Lopez." Talk to me.
I didn't bet on either. I didn't call them for two very unlikable people. I was hoping Teo would lose just because Teo is such an absolute, yeah, you know. But and Teo has a weird career, right? So
Right.
he has a rough fight with Nakatani, knocks off Mitchell Kome, beats Lomachenko, gets absolutely embarrassed by Cambosos,
Yeah.
blames the world. The wall is collapsing on me. Eddie Hearn and the zone set me up. He comes back, has a controversial decision against Sandor Martin, which I thought he lost.
Yeah.
Is in the ring asking, "Do I still have it, guys?
Do I still got it?
Do I still got it?" Then comes back and is in the ring dancing merengue and punching Josh Taylor in the mouth. I mean, what a strange career.
Strange.
Strange career for a very, very strange man. And
A brilliant resume though. He has got some big wins on his resume.
yeah, so it's no. Well, I heard you say it was the last. Bob Arum said that's not his last fight. When he made the comment the first time, Bob Arum just said no. He has more fights on his contract, and I guess that's why Teo is talking about. He's retired now. He wants a 9-figure contract to come back and fight. I said, well, I guess you're gonna be retired for a long time because you're not getting no 9 figures.
Well, I know that Bob Arum ain't no dummy, and I couldn't see Bob Arum not having a clause in the contract saying if you win a world championship, then you owe us at least one more fight.
No, this is before that. Bob Arum said that this fight is not his last fight. He has other fights left on his contract.
Wow.
So I guess Teo was just talking. So now he's saying he's retired and blase and all this. But yeah, Teofimo is an enigma, man. Just really strange guy, but can really fight. But then he comes up small in these weird fights, Sandor Martin and Cambosos. I don't know. People were saying Josh Taylor might have stayed at 140 too long. Hey, he didn't make no excuses, right? He probably should have left 140 after the Catterall fight, but he didn't. He stayed for a big fight with Teo. Lost. He didn't make no excuses, so now he moves to 147. Right?
Yes.
So that's how it goes. But Teo, I mean, that fight was good, nice, solid. 140 fight, lot of skills, but then after a while you just start to realize, Teo is dancing in the ring, punching and boxing Taylor in the mouth. And I'm like, Taylor don't have no answers. He just don't have no answers. And Teo was just way better than him that night. And that's that.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Teo. Teo certainly is a strange cat. He's a strange cat, emotional cat. But I have to say, he has given us some fantastic nights. When he took out Campos, when he took out Kome in 2 rounds, the way he neutralized Lomachenko for the majority of their fight. Southpaw, tricky Southpaw, and he's an orthodox. And then he comes back again and takes care of Josh Taylor, another Southpaw. When a lot of orthodox fighters have so much trouble with Southpaws. Teo almost makes it look, not going to say easy, because it's not easy, but it almost makes it look easy. And for an orthodox fighter going up against the Southpaws are fighting orthodox fighters all the time, but the orthodox fighters rarely fight the Southpaws, so the Southpaw has the advantage. So the way Teo has dealt with 2 highly acclaimed Southpaws, I got to give him credit for that. I keep on watching that fight over and over. The way he positions his foot positioning, and then even when he appears not to have the right foot positioning for the left hook, he'll just go with a right uppercut or a straight right or a right hook. He just seems to know how to deal with the southpaws.
Yes, I do slightly disagree with Uncle Bert apostrophe. I don't think that Josh Taylor tanked. I think that Lopez just figured him out.
Yeah.
And he when he figured him out, he went up a level. So there was the increase in intensity and the fact that he'd been figured out, and Taylor just couldn't keep up. I don't think it was a bad performance from Taylor.
No.
It was just Teo figured him out first, and then up the intensity.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad performance by Josh Taylor. Like Leon Figures said, I just think that Teo is for somehow really comfortable with southpaws, and he shocks them. The southpaws often use the backhand, and orthodox fighters, when they fight in southpaws, they don't use the backhand enough. But Teo is an anomaly. He's an anomaly. He uses that backhand regularly with a variety of shots: uppercut, right hook, straight right. It's just beautiful. As an orthodox stance person myself, it's just beautiful to see him handling these high level southpaws. It's highly entertaining. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit all the good buttons. Okay, and like I said before, the Rafi is absolutely shattered. So we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Okay, and I think I got that the other way around, but it's all good. All means the same. Where are we? Teofimo folded Taylor like a suitcase in the 11th and 12th round with a body punch. Yeah, I saw him stand up. I saw Teo stand up Josh Taylor in the 11th round with a, I think it was a right hook or a right cross, and it stood Taylor up. And I didn't hear the commentators mention it. I don't know if a lot of people saw it, but to me, I saw that as that was a big shot. A lot of people didn't notice it was a big shot, and it was telling because Josh Taylor was almost stunned. He was stupefied just for a fraction of a second. He was stupefied, and it's that shot that told me Teo got this. Because like I said, watching it live, having missed a bunch of the earlier rounds, it looked like a close fight to me. But Teo was the one who had those special effects moments, those moments that you remembered at the end of the round. And of course, watched it back and I realized, yeah, for sure, he actually did win it fair and square. But watching it live the first time around was a very close fight. But yeah, that right hook, I think, that right cross to the jaw, Josh Taylor from Teofimo Lopez in the 11th round, to me, that kind of sealed it at the time. Yeah, that sealed it. And then, of course, he went down to the body. He was doing some beautiful body work. But let me ask you this. How come Teofimo Lopez's body work counts and Devin Haney's body work doesn't? Riddle me that. Riddle me that. You know what I'm saying? I love body work, whether it's Teo doing it or Devin Haney. I love it, mate. Love it. An old British boxer, he's trying to told him by the name of John Conte, out of Liverpool, light heavyweight. He said, trainer told him, kill the body and the head will fall. Let me tell you, people, body shots count. Body shots count. Let's have a look. Teo shows signs of being an enigma. Yeah. Well, I think it's the frame of mind. He said he's coming into this fight. They're bringing back Gordo. Who was Gordo? I don't know what it means, but Gordo was, remember Gordo style. It was the style that Teofimo
It was
built.
his persona in the amateurs when he was a pure boxer,
There we go.
rather than he was going out to be like a boxer puncher with a knockout puncher. So he went back to boxing.
Went back to the boxing, went back to his foundations, which is slick boxing. It's because he abandoned that foundation against Campos, why all his troubles started in the ring. I think his troubles started outside the ring by marrying a woman that his family advised him not to. Got her pregnant, got married, got her pregnant, and then she upped, and then she had the child, and then she upped and left his firstborn son. That was before the Campos fight, and his mind was in a bad place. Bad place. And he's been struggling with that. I think he's been struggling with his mentals. And his father wasn't helping. His father wasn't really nurturing the Gordo, the pure boxer. He wasn't nurturing the Gordo. He knocked out Colmay. Then went in the ring. He wanted an early night against Campos. Maybe he underrated Campos. He thought, let me just knock this guy out quick and get out of there. The Gordo style was nowhere to be seen. And then he was playing catch up because Campos put him on the seat of his ass. And then mental problems outside of the ring. Dwight still got it in the ring. But he went back to Gordo, went back to his boxing style, went back to his boxing slicks. And that was the result. I hope Teo can maintain this level, this levity, just enjoying the fighting, forget about the tension, just relax and just you're a craftsman, carpenter, a master carpenter doesn't get up feeling nervous about going into the job because he knows he's a master at what he does. Yeah, a metalwork specialist doesn't wake up feeling nervous because he knows he's a specialist at what he does. And it's a difference because those guys don't have people trying to take their head off when they turn up for work. That is true. But if you're a specialist, if you are a well-acclaimed amateur, if you've took your time and learnt the game and being a student of the game, being a conscientious student of the game, you can afford to believe in yourself. You can afford to walk in the ring with a little bit of a smile because you know your level, you know what you can do, you know your capabilities. And I think Teo just had he found the right mindset. Obviously, he had to do some mental work. He had to do some mind work. He partially listened to the people that said, get rid of your dad. He didn't get rid of his dad, but he brought some other help in and returned to the Gordo style. And you know what? After this show, which is not going to be a long one, folks, because the Rafi is tired. After this show, I'm going to watch that fight again. I loved it. Hold on. I'll put it on the big screen this time. Yeah, I've been watching it on the computer. I'll put it on the big screen, fall asleep watching it. That's how we going to do. Taylor's corner was out of ideas. Perhaps Taylor was too used to having physical advantages. He was too rudimentary in this fight. I don't think they were out of ideas. Well, I don't know. I can't comment on that because I wasn't listening to the commentary. I don't know. I never really heard much of the in-between round stuff, so I really don't know what they were telling him. But his trainer, whose name escapes me, trainer of Liam, Geezer, who just beat Eubank Jr., Liam Smith. Same trainer, knows his stuff. Apparently they had a We talked about the strategy, and Josh Taylor himself said I didn't stick to the strategy. We had a strategy which I didn't stick to. What was the strategy? I can't remember. I cannot remember. Teo made TJ look like an amateur. I thought he was competitive, but Teo was just better. He was just better. Great astute question about the bodywork, Mr. Dawkins. Chisora gets little of his bodywork registered by judges. Hey, that's a good point. Chisora is another one. Let me just say to the people at the back, body work counts. Kill the body and the head will fall. You know what I mean? So people who don't count body shots, I don't get them. I don't understand, or maybe they don't understand. You know what I mean?
I'm really biased for or against any fighter, but I tend to be biased against Derek Chisora. So maybe I'm not the person to respond, but I find a lot of Derek Chisora's body shots and punches in general are quite wide. They tend to hit elbows and arms, and I rarely give them scoring marks. It's they look good for the crowd. Crowd like to see nice pressure fighters, but I don't see them as actually scoring punches. It's almost as if he's not looking. Yeah. He's just swinging and hoping. So there's no precision. If he looked and aimed for spots and some precision, but he just steams ahead like swinging wildly. I'm just not a fan of Chisora though. I'm just not a fan of his boxing at all.
I hear you. Everybody's got different tastes. You know what I mean? I thought that the first fight, I thought he would be outmatched by Joseph Parker, but yeah, he won that fight by my scorecard. He beat Joseph Parker in the first fight on my scorecard. So, and then he gave Alexander Usyk maybe the toughest fight he's had at heavyweight. You know what I mean? So he's doing something right. I hope he retires now, though. While he's still got his faculties. I hope he does, but Derek Chisora is war horse. He's the war horse, so that's highly unlikely. Mr. Dawkins, you need to give up your day job and moonlighting and take up boxing promotions. Oh, man. Yeah. You gotta. There's a lot of things that I should be doing, my friend. There's a lot of things. Rafi's got lots of bows to his string. Should Taylor get rid of his trainer? Well, I don't see why. If he had implemented the game plan and it didn't work out, then fair enough. But he, by his own admission, did not implement the game plan. The only thing that worries me is that Taylor's talking about moving up to 147, but his trainer's saying, no, I think he's still good at 140. Taylor's been 140 his whole career since he was 19, and now he's 32. Definitely needs to look to be moving up in weight, but let me share my screen with you. Let's have a look at this. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I feel like I'm flaking out, so I'm gonna keep on rolling for as long as I can. But I feel like I'm flaking out. Hold on, but let's war through this. We've just been talking about Chisora. Let's war Chisora through this. I don't even know if you can see that screen. Let me make it a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger still. Okay, how does it look now? Yeah, I think you can see it. Okay, so the problem for Josh Taylor is that, where are we now? Where is he? He's at junior welterweight. And now he's thinking about moving up to welterweight. Next fight at 147. Well, look who's waiting for him. You got your Errol Spence. You got your Terence Crawford. You got a list. Well, it's not a bigger list as at one.
No, Mr. Dawkins, I think 147 opens up. I think after the two fights that Bud and
Spence.
are having, both of them will move up. I don't
Yeah.
think so. That opens up the division completely. You've got some killers there. You've got the who's that young guy on the top rank? I thought he beat McKinson.
Yeah. I know you mean.
Him. It was him there.
Yeah.
And there's Boots Ennis, but then he's undecided. He's unproven.
Yes. He's unproven.
So yeah, I think it opens up. I do think the division opens up.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking about it. There's probably more killers at junior welterweight than there are at actual welterweight. Maybe there's an argument to be made. So, yeah, his trainer was talking about it's you got a lot of talent. You got a lot of golden fights at the junior welterweight. Yeah, that's true. But if the man's telling you that he's feeling a little bit drained, time when he comes to put his foot down in the 10th and 11th, he couldn't do that in his last two fights. If he's telling you that, then as a trainer, I mean, don't you listen? The man's been at 140 since he was 19. He's 32 now. Come on, man. Most likely, he needs to move up to welterweight. And I think that's how it's going to look. That's how it's going to look. Let me take that down and stop sharing that. So should Taylor get rid of his trainer? Well, he's got rid of his he had to leave Shane McGuigan. Then he got rid of I think he was with Ben Saunders for a couple of fights. What fights were they?
Ben Davidson.
Ben Davidson. I don't know why I was called.
Ben Saunders called Billy one. He seems to be in love with Billy Joe Saunders and Tyson Fury.
Who's that?
Ben Davidson. You could call him Ben Saunders or Ben Fury. The way he seems to be in love with them.
For real. So Ben Davidson, he was with Josh Taylor for. Pretty sure he was with him for the Ramirez fight, and he was with him for the Jack Catterall fight, and he got rid of him and went with this new cat, Liam Smith's trainer.
I think Davidson might have been there for the pro-grade bout as well when he won the that series.
I think he's still with Shane McGuigan at that time.
Was that still McGuigan? I thought he left McGuigan before. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not certain.
Yeah, I think he was in McGuigan up until the Carlos Ramirez fight. I think.
And I think it's actually Josh Taylor's. I think he's actually called the Tartan Tornado.
He is.
I don't think. Oh, you call him the Tartan Terror? Okay.
No, it's called the Tartan Tornado, is he not?
Yes, it's just you keep calling him the Tartan Terror.
Oh, okay. Well, I misspoke.
Tartan Terror does work, but yeah, Tartan Terror does work. But yeah.
The Tartan Terror. Yeah, I almost said tornado again. Yeah. But no, absolutely not. Should he leave his trainer? No, I don't think so. He left Ben Saunders for a reason. And he said that with these guys, he's found guys who he's going to be friends with for life. They took him in when he was training with Shane McGuigan. I remember he did an interview. He said that the only thing I did was I trained, and then I came home. They didn't come around to see me. They've never been here. We didn't go out to eat. So I think for him, Shane McGuigan was a very good trainer, but also a cold fish.
Maybe we can learn from that because who was it? Billum Smith and Okoli was saying that now there's a lot more. They go out more in the McGuigan gym, and they were saying Lawrence Okoli would never do that. He would just never would go out with them. He'll just train and then go home, whereas the others would go out. So Okoli was saying how Billum Smith was his favorite, and he was like, he wasn't. He was the favorite. He used to come out with us and do more team things together as a gym, whereas Okoli was just like go train and go home. So maybe that might be something that Shane McGuigan's taken on board with everyone leaving him. Maybe he's making a conscious effort to build more like a family atmosphere in the gym.
Well, I know in the jiu-jitsu community, we would have top Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We'd have top Brazilian guys come over to our club, and they relocated. They'd be training at various different clubs. They'd be getting a wage out of it, but we'd always make sure that they weren't sitting at home, bored and lonely. So, dinners were arranged. Every now and then they'd have a dinner. Cinema visit would be arranged. Just things. We do things to make sure they weren't homesick. But that wasn't the case for Josh Taylor. So maybe Shane's learned. But should he get rid of his trainer after one fight when he didn't follow the game plan? I don't think so. There was a clear speed gap. Yeah, there was a clear speed gap. Was making the weight an issue? Because I think he underplays how difficult it is. Was making the weight an issue? It's going to be interesting to see how he looks at 147. I think he should move up. Aaron Daly up in the building. How do you do?
Peace, Mr. Daly. Peace, Mr. Daly.
Absolutely. 135, 140, 147, 160, all exciting. Jamel Charlo, super welterweight. Which numbers did you say? Which numbers did he say? 147. Oh, yeah. Jamel Charlo ain't fought in a year. Brother ain't fought close to 2 years. What the hell's going on with the Charlos? Jamal Charlo, Irisandi Lara, vacant, IBF vacant. WBO, Johnny Beck, Akimolini, IBO, Gennady Golovkin. Okay. Where are we? The ref is flagging, folks. The ref is flagging.
Mr. Dawkins, I'm flagging as well, so I'm going to sign out.
Hey, it's been good to have. Hey, before you flag, did you watch the Sonny Edwards fight?
Yes, I did.
Talk to me before you go.
Interesting performance. It wasn't as dominant.
Is he a Poundland Pernell Whitaker?
No, he wasn't on that display. He was a bit more in the pocket. He's normally on the back foot, on the outside, very defensive. But he took a bit more risks to be a bit more entertaining for the Eddie Hearn show. So no, he wasn't. I wouldn't say him now. I think he's a very high level boxer. So no, I think that's a bit of an insult to call him that.
Yeah. But tell me about the fight. You enjoyed it?
No, unfortunately. I don't really enjoy his fights.
After all of that, you set us up. You did the switch and bait. You said how good he was, and then said
he's good. He's good. I appreciate the art.
That's the paradox of, you hit the nail on the head, because that's the paradox of Sonny Edwards. He's good, yes, but he's not in. Well, the entertainment factor is questionable.
But before I go, I would like to answer the question that you always say, is something along the lines of, what are your last words?
Yeah.
My last words would be to Josh Taylor, to say that this isn't the end. And if he wants a classic example, the guy that actually beat him, he looked like the end after his performance to Cambosis, followed by the Martin performance, 2 flat, underwhelming performances. And then he bounced back when he acclimatized to the weight, got a few of his personal issues sorted out, went in and put on one of his best performances. So I think there is life after this defeat. He can have a couple of acclimatization fights in 147, and he could find himself being a belt holder of one of them 4 vacant belts that could come up. So while Spence and Crawford take on each other, he could take a couple of interim fights at 147, and he could pick up one of those vacant ones. Especially being at top rank, they'll make sure that he'll have at least a shot at one of them. So yeah, it's not all over, and I'd like to see what he can do at 147.
Real talk, and that was the Mr. Leon Figures, who took time out of his day to come and chat with us over here at the RDCR. Much appreciation goes out to the Leon Figures. Okay, and I'm flagging. Rafi's gotta just crash out on the sofa. Thoughts on Sunny Delight? I didn't actually see that, but yeah, we just did it. What can I say about Sunny Delight, aka Sonny Edwards? He's got skills. Kid's got skills, but does he got the pop? Does he got the pop? I think he's all underpowered at the weight, and so he very wisely and very prudently went for and realized that he had to be a skillful fighter to survive. Because if you're not a skillful fighter, the only thing other than that is you gotta have pop. You can be a skillful fighter. You cannot be a fighter or not so skilled, but you got an iron jaw. You can rely on your jaw, although that's a bad strategy for later on in life. You know what I mean? So you can be a skillful fighter, or you gotta have pop. You gotta be able to know how to crack a man's jaw and make his knees shake. OMG. Let's have a look. Mr. Dawkins, I asked you a month ago. You disagreed. So I ask again, is Fury being frozen out because of his past and recent shenanigans? No, he's just not sending offers. Fury's just not sending offers to people. Frank Sanchez is there, ranked number 4 in the WBC. Martin Bakoli's there. What is he? Ranked number 7, something like that in the WBC. You got Ajit Kabayal up in the top 15. You got a bunch of cats. But when you ask them if they've received enough from Tyson Fury, it's like no. And then you had cats out there saying that Tyson Fury can sell out Wembley on its own. Well, no. He's fighting against Dillian White, who's a PPV seller himself. So now they're in a quandary. Do they get one of these top 15 WBC guys with very little name recognition? Will that fill out Wembley? They don't know. We don't know. You don't know. And they don't know. So that's why he's not sending out offers. He's in a quandary. And as for the Anthony Joshua offer he sent out, well, he knew Joshua scheduled a date for early August. So if he wanted to fight Joshua, well, then make the date on early August. But instead, he makes an offer for September. He knows Joshua's fighting in December, August and December. So why is he sending an offer for September when he knows Joshua's going to be fighting in August? That's their date. Obviously, you don't want the fight, otherwise you'd send the offer for August. You know what I mean? So he's not being frozen out. It's his. He just ain't making offers. Joshua offer was bogus. I actually think that might have been a camouflage bluff by Taylor. To be honest, suspect he was just turned by what? Keenan Gold. Oh, dang. That must be some kind of damn riddle. Edwards just does not have that one-punch gumption. Not style for Mr. Dawkins or Mr. Figures. Well, hey, he's talented, but where's the pop? Where's the pop? You're talented, but where is the pop? Taylor needs a brand new suit. Fine. Marveloso. Thank you, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe. Perhaps Luke will sell out Wembley alone. Hey, sell out Wembley alone. Hey, we gonna see. We gonna see. Okay, what else? What else was on the thumbnail? The ref is flagging. Where's the thumbnail? There it is. Teofimo. Josh Taylor. Damn, I think we've done it. I think we talked about everything that was on the thumbnail. Sunny Delight. Tyson Fury. I think we've done it, folks. OMG. A bit shorter than normal. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to share it on all social media platforms. We got it out there. Thank you to the Iron Kong. Came in. Thank you to the Leon Figures. Thank you to everybody who has taken time out of their day to come over here and chop it up with the RDCR. The Rafi is shattered. And so, yeah, you gotta give it to you. Gotta give it to you like a cappuccino shot. Short but sweet. The night is young. Aziz and Boatsi. Yeah, we'll talk about that next time. But in the meantime, thank you to everybody. And it's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it is the hitting the bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget about the live show. Don't forget about the videos. But for now, we are out. Blessed.